Today we'll be reacting to Faouzia and John Legend performing Minefields live at the Kelly Clarkson Show. But before we start, this is a reaction video. It's a commentary video, so I'm gonna pause and provide some commentary along the way, but I'll of course link the full performance below so that you can check it out without me disturbing you. But you clicked reaction, so here we are. Of course, John on the piano. To be expected.
Now this might be a mistake that I'm calling you this late, but these dreams I have of you ain't real enough.
Yes, okay. So I haven't heard this song before, but I really like the beat. I thought it was going to be more just acoustic with the piano and their voices, but I really like that. And those low notes from Faouzia there immediately. I love Faouzia and her lower register. That's so hard to say. Lower register. She's still so free there, you know, even though she's sort of on the lower end of her comfy register, you know, but she's still very free there and very agile. I love that tone. It's so warm because sometimes when you go deeper on those lower notes, you add more breath. So it can tend to, more breathy can sometimes sound a bit more cold, you know, but she still sounds very, very warm and it's really nice. I have to hear those low notes again, you know, me.
I have of you ain't real enough.
I think it might be a low E or even a D. Maybe D is really, really low, and she's so controlled there. That's really impressive. Try yourself to sing there and not only reach the note, but you know, she's got lyrics. She needs to fit in there, because one thing is just doing the note with your voice, but you know, consonants, lyrics, they add sort of hindrances for you, for your voice, for that airflow. So yeah, she has to do that as well as hit a whole melody. It's not just that one note. So that's really impressive.
Started bringing up the past, how good things you love don't last, even though this isn't fair for both of us.
Speaking of warmth, I mean, his voice sounds so warm. It's just, there's this wideness to his tone, if you know what I mean. It's not like big and spacey. It's close. It's right there, and it's like warm and wide. Does that make sense? It's really, really nice. I love John Legend's voice. Let's hear this transition that I ruined.
Don't last, even though this isn't fair for both of us.
I love his vibrato too.
Ooh, maybe I'm just a fool. I still belong with you anywhere you are.
Oh my gosh, that was so beautiful. The harmonies, when they hit the harmonies, their voices sound really, really good together. And they're different, you know? So Faouzia, she sounds sort of bigger out in space, but he sounds closer, but his voice just resonates so much. And it's a really cool combo. And those harmonies were beautiful, and when they did those lighter notes. And I love it when the harmony doesn't follow on every single note. They leave like a little space there so that you sort of hear the harmony anyway, but they leave out some of the notes. It's so good.
I still belong with you anywhere you are.
Nice glissando. Yes.
These minefields that I walk through, what I risk to be close to you.
The directions, sorry, let me collect myself. The direction she sings with, her tone, like, do you know what I mean? She carries the melody, and she carries it from A to Z, I guess you'd say. We have 3 more letters in my alphabet, but okay. No, but yeah, A to Z, she carries it, like, she carries the note all the way through the phrase, you know? So good. And I love sometimes at the end of her phrases, she sort of accelerates or adds this fast little vibrato. Just the details. There's so many details to her voice, and it's gorgeous. And the way she can just smile, and she's so playful. This is also, pitch-wise, this is very much in her comfortable register, so it makes sense that she's very free here, but it's still technically difficult stuff that she does. She switches from her chest to her head voice, like does little vocal flips and all that. And she masters it. She can just stand there and smile doing it. So I love Faouzia. And they sound so good together. Their voices, oh my gosh. Really nice vowels too. Yes. Yes, that play. I love that right before they did this like melodies playing against each other, and I love that the melodies sort of they harmonize with each other, but they don't overlap necessarily, just some places, but they just play around each other like that. So gorgeous. And I'm just really into how much their voices complement each other, how good they sound together. Like their vocal qualities are very different, but together it sounds really, really great. Like they both sound great each on their own, obviously. Come on. But yeah. And I love those little trills that Faouzia incorporates here and there, like little embellishments to the melody. Love it. Close to you, close to you. You hear the harmonies follow on every note. Nice. I didn't notice what I lost until all the lights were off, and not knowing what you're up to torture me. Torture me. That's so low. That's so low. And to go from those higher notes, I mean, she hasn't been on the higher end of her register here. She has been but she's been flirting with it up there. But, she hasn't been like super, super belty. So she hasn't really, I mean, I don't think this woman strains, even if she tries. But, she's very, very, she's so free. But still, to go from those higher, because they are higher than where she is now, even though they're not at the higher end of her register, you know what I mean? So even at those higher parts of the song, and going from that back into those really, really, really low notes on the verse, and with such ease, she just sings the melody with the words and everything. She just easy. Lights were off, and not knowing what you're up to torture me. That was such a good vowel. Now this might be a mistake. We're broken in so many ways, but I'd piece us back together slowly. Yes, unison moment. Okay, we have to say something about his voice too. I'm always for the ladies. I'm mesmerized by female vocals, women vocals. But he's so good too. So a very interesting thing about John Legend is the way that he shapes his vowels. Sometimes, I will not say that John Legend is a cursive singer, but he sometimes uses the same effect with his vowels that cursive singers do, where you have one vowel, but you make it sort of into a diphthong, but it's just slight. Do you say diphthong or diphthong? Diphthong. But the way he does it is just a slight little twist, it's not super like, it's not like that, but it's still there. And it's interesting, and I think it adds to his tone and that wide tone, and also the way he closes some of his phrases, the way he finishes some of his phrases is like, he lets it go into just sort of just disappear instead of closing it, and he sort of, and he also uses his vibrato to do that, to sort of finish the phrases. It's really cool. Just a lot of details with him as well. Maybe I'm just a fool. I still belong with you. Yes, the way she held that note over. to how full they sound together. It's so gorgeous. And with that heavy sort of beat there, sort of, it's a beat, that heavy beat they got going under there, like it feels like this song could be played at double tempo as well, but there's this half tempo. Not half tempo because it's the actual tempo of the song, but you know what I mean. Don't be so difficult. And also they got this dynamic build up, and they do that, like, okay, I didn't mention that, but their dynamic ranges also show, you know. I really like the way they play with the dynamics in this song. They build it up and they sort of take it back. And the way I said that they played with the harmonies too, when they were sort of back and forth and not always following. I don't know why I'm doing this. There are only 2 harmonies, but they were following each other, like, note for note. But there are parts where they don't do that, and they make it really interesting, you know. It's not just harmonies like this all the time. They give a little, they take a little, they leave a little breathing space, and then they come harder. Oh my gosh. And then they go harder. They're building the dynamic really, really nicely in this song. And again, the way these 2 voices sound together, their tones that are really not the same at all. Like, he's got this sort of vocal fry quality to his voice, and she's got this super clear, very like rounded, nice. So he's got this wider tone and she's got this more rounded tone, but they match so well still. And I just love that little trill that Faouzia enters the chorus on here. Ooh, or something. Ooh. There's this little trill to it. So it's not just ooh, but ooh, you know? The control, that was so good, because that was a long stretch too, like that was a long breath, you know, and so controlled on every little, the whole run, you know, on every little note she did in there, on point and so gorgeous. I love her musicality. I love the way that she lets her Arabic influence into her songs and her performances too. And you can hear it sometimes in those runs, that the embellishments sort of, they got this Arabic sound to it. Arab. You know what I mean? They got this sound to it that, so nice. And sometimes they even incorporate like not tempered notes, but like quarter notes and stuff. Really cool. All right. This run she did here, let's hear that again. And more soulful at the end. Oh, so cool. That's so high. And that was such a perfect belt. And she looked like she was not like struggling at all. She just has to like open enough for that to come out. But she was just, and listen also to how that is not louder. Like, it's not giving like this overdrive in the mic or anything. It's a perfect belt. You're not supposed to sound super loud. The intensity in the belt itself, when you do it, it sounds really loud. That's the point. but you have to think quieter to go that high. So when you belt like that, first of all, you want to find a vowel that works for you in the higher register. So this was like not an E or not an O or nothing like that. It was like a maybe. So first of all, yeah, vowel. Pick a good vowel for you. Second of all, try to think lighter instead of heavier. You know, you're not supposed to push, because then you will tense up and your vocal folds won't be able to stretch that thin, you know, because you're tense. So you don't want to push there. You don't want to strain. You just want to let the sound come, because I know you want to go louder, you want to push to go louder, but that's not the point. A belt will sound loud. Like this, it sounds loud even though she's not going harder. You know what I mean? And also, did you see she did a little head tilt? If you just tilt your head a little bit back, you get a really nice belting position. Like for the airflow and for everything to go where it's supposed to. And you can open your jaw properly. You're not like, you know? So, yeah, do that. Felt good. Sorry, her mouth position as well. Just notice that as well.
Now this might be a mistake that I'm calling you this late, but these dreams I have of you ain't real enough.
Those lower notes after that belt. Yes. Also love that they did it like John Legend, just let her shine, you know? He's there with the harmonies and he's there making it a duet. And like I said, their voices sound so good together. They complement each other in a really nice way. But John Legend's role here is he's such a solid vocalist, and the way they played back and forth with the harmonies, it was such an interesting musical moment. And I loved how they left spaces. They weren't always following each other with the harmonies note for note, so that when they did that, it sounds even more powerful, you know? And it doesn't sound boring because you get those plays like, ugh, yeah. They were so good. I love both their musicality, like their styles, individual styles. I love how John Legend's got this sort of drier, wider voice, like, he's got this little almost vocal fry at the end of some of his phrases with that vibrato on there, while Faouzia, she's just crystal clear and with those big belts and everything. Such a stunning performance. Thank you so much for recommending. Leave 2-star emojis in the comments if you're still watching, and thank you so much for watching till the end. I really appreciate it. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.